Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. What's going on, you guys? Big shout out to everybody tapping in yet again. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
The goddess of destruction.
So this is CERN at daytime. Hello, let's go. And let's zoom in. Switch to 3D. Zoom in. And if you go there to CERN building 41, go over to this place here. Go on this point here. Click to this point. Now here we go. And then just turn over. You're seeing the Shiva statue, the goddess of destruction, right here at CERN. Isn't it a little bit weird?
Now, this isn't actually about fact or fake because that statue is actually at the CERN building. But this might be actually more about, is this less evil or more evil than we think it is?
Brought up how they're not just landing here and showing themselves. I keep going back to this thought that, like, I think there's a preparation of our DNA to where they can somehow merge with us, with their consciousness. But our DNA, but the only way we can do that is through free will choice. Like, if they just showed up and forced everything, it fucks up. It doesn't prepare the DNA in the right way or something. Free will has it matters in a physics way, in some weird way, down to the base level of our DNA, I believe. So it has to influence us and deceive us and create religions and create mystical events and show us back and mimic things when we're in a forest, whether it's a troll or a leprechaun. It's like something is forcing us to make free will decisions to stay in a state of chaos that evolves our DNA and consciousness to a point rapidly to where it can become inhabited or something. That makes a lot more sense to me, why it's not showing up and why it doesn't want to be known. Because the other thing is, if we knew they were here and we knew what they were doing, maybe when it comes in your room at night, you would say, get the fuck out of here.
Slow motion ਜੇ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਤਾਂ
2.0 ਗੱਲ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਹ 0.1 ਕਿਹੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ
ਫਿਰ
ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੱਥ ਜਿਹਾ ਘੁੰਮ
ਕੱਤੇ ਪਾਣੀ
ਪਾਉਂਗੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਜਿਹਾ ਕਿਤੇ
I would definitely love to know what exactly was going on with that guy right there, because he looked like a zombie, but it might have been some kind of medical condition. If you know something I don't about that vid, definitely let me know.
People see this? Look at this. Look at the amount of fish. That's millions and millions. This is like, where did it come from? That's the middle of the desert. And this is, they're trying to get up. That's the fish there, look. Look at that. You can't. This world is amazing, isn't it? Look at them going across on the road. They're getting through. They're trying to get up and go. It's so beautiful. I'll be soon at Tennant Creek. This is the middle of us. Look at the birds going in for a feed. Oh man. The thing that's got me is, where did this fish all come from? Well guys, love yous, and I gotta leave yous because I gotta get to the desert. I'm in the desert, I'm going to another desert. Gotcha.
I would have loved to have known where exactly he was at, because that's actually pretty interesting. I mean, he wasn't as close to a desert as he thought he was. If there was that much water and that many fish, something else was going on.
You guys showed me, one of you showed me the commercial from back in the day.
Dude, that fucking commercial is insane.
What?
Because it looks amazing.
What? There's an old commercial from the 90s of like alien Reptilian, And this thing is like spot on. And a lot of people say like this is like really an old commercial that featured a reptilian.
I'm telling you,
that like time passed and we just forget about
when
it.
I see it, I'm telling you, like when I look at it on the phone, it creeps me out.
Hey, little dude, send your mama and daddy out of the room. I gotta get you up on this. You know who I am. Snake, dealing in weed, coke, crack, your choice. Take one hit and you'll do anything to cop more. Steal from your mama, lie, cheat on your homeboys. But hey, that's the price you pay when you deal with dudes like me. Now, some folks will tell you that I'm dealing in poison. But hey, do I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you? Yes!
Hey, no cap, I remember that commercial.
Making out with a child, and I can't play that video on YouTube for obvious reasons. But Ashton's anti-human trafficking organization had some shady characters of its own.
I also immediately thought it was weird Ashton Kutcher would write a character letter to the judge in Danny Masterson's case when he is the founder of Thorn, which is an anti-human trafficking organization. But I'm just going to show you the clips that you have to see about this. While you watch, I want you to remember this weird picture of him drinking from a CIA mug with the hashtag thank you, hashtag gratitude.
Thorn is partnered with all these Silicon Valley companies, but there's a lot of really creepy ties if you look at the board of Thorn. One of the people on their board is a guy named Joe Lonsdale. Lonsdale was also recently accused of his ex-girlfriend of depriving her of food and raping her repeatedly. So he is, on the board of this.
You have the board members of Ashton Kutcher's anti-human trafficking organization allegedly told his ex-girlfriend that women needed to be R-worded to learn respect. And you know what they say? Birds of a feather flock together. And it gets worse for Ashton. Believe it or not, Ashton was once a witness to a unaliving crime early on in his career. So on February 21st, 2001, Ashton was supposed to meet Ashley Ellerin for a date in Los Angeles. Ashton said he was attending an Oscar watch party, so it made him late for the date. And when he finally arrived at her house, he peered into the window and saw what he thought were wine stains in her home. And after she didn't answer the door, he thought he blew it because he showed up too late and left. When he found out she had been murked, he called the police to tell them why there were his handprints on the door. It was later revealed Ashley had been penetrated with a sharp object 47 times. There was no sign of forced entry, so people suspect Ashley knew the perp. The man convicted of her death, Michael, murked 3 women, but he maintains his innocence. And here's where it gets interesting. Danny Masterson's accuser spoke out about how Ashton could be implicated in the crime.
So you might just think the story ends here, but no, it continues. Because Danny Masterson's accuser details an alleged call with Ashton Kutcher the night his date was murdered. Chrissy wrote in a statement on Instagram, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that will end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speaker that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." And that was the day that Ashley lost her life. So why did Ashton call Danny, and what did he have to tell
To
him?
me, it kind of sounds like Ashton could have tried to cover it up to save his career. Just some speculation.
I've said this many times before already this year. 2024, man, we are going to continue to see these things pop out of the closet. Many people who we thought were one way, we're going to find out that they were the complete opposite.
Y'all, I think I know what CERN was doing while this eclipse was happening. Do you see this? There is so many different videos and footage of demons flying by the sun. By the way, to all you vultures using people's videos without crediting them, stop it. This video belongs to this person. I'm about to show you another one in a minute. I'm going to slow it down right here. And then there was this one. Creator is again at the top. And there's so many more. And if y'all really don't want to act like demons don't exist, there was a rumor that CERN was haunted after their first time powering up. And as of lately, they say they found a 4D ghost in the CERN particle accelerator. aka they found a demon, another entity above our dimension. For anybody saying it's a rocket, you are completely fooling yourself. You are fooling yourself. And here is that one going back and forth. Look at that. That is insane, y'all. So does anyone want to tell me what all these demons were doing? Maybe this is why they brought up the demon face thing on the news.
Now, when the eclipse happened, I didn't catch that, but if you caught it, let me know.
I got invited to a abductee survivor group. There was a guy named Dr. Leah. He removed alien implants from people.
Wow.
Yeah, and in 2016, maybe 14, I got invited to a removal of an implant. Jeremy Corbell was there.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like a fledgling filmmaker. This was his first thing he was filming. I was actually there when they removed the implant.
How big is it?
To be honest with you, it kind of looked like a large kidney stone. It was about the size of a grain of rice. The crazy thing was when I was there and they tried to remove it, as they were trying to grab it, it was moving.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the most satanic music video I have ever seen. I don't know what Justin Timberlake is up to, but this is dark. And I hope this is not being filmed inside of a church, because once he enters this building, we find out that this is some secret party, and he is quickly greeted with his alter ego. As he watches over him, we are then greeted with the devil herself, who invites him to come dance. He then starts to riz her up, but then it gets dark very quickly. She scratches his face, which represents the possession, and everyone on the dance floor turns into demons. Him and his alter ego then make eye contact with each other like, what have you just done? And then the devil arises. She spreads her wings, looks at him right in the face, and all the other demons worship her. She then drops this black liquid from her mouth onto him, and then this is where things just get wild. Everyone then gets this red liquid on them. They start doing stuff with each other, and honestly, it's just extremely creepy. At the end of the party, his alter ego buries his old self in the trunk. He then gets in the car with the devil. Her eyes are possessed. They turn to him, and then his eyes become possessed.
Man, you can't hide anything in these videos or movies nowadays, because people are breaking them down in like 10.3 seconds. I mean, who would have thought all that was inside the video and that's what was happening? You know?
Those would not include injecting yourself with your son's blood, right?
That's right.
Why'd you do that?
And one day I was talking to my dad and he said, I need to tell you, I had this really scary situation where he said, I wrote a brief, I walked away, I came back and I saw that my words were a jumbled mess. I was experiencing cognitive lapse and I wasn't aware of it. He's 71. He said, I'm terrified of losing my mind.
Yes.
And I said, Dad, how interesting, because right now the team and I are talking about plasma infusions. And so I said, if you're interested, I'm happy to give you a liter of my plasma. And then my 17-year-old son was there and he's like, hey, if you guys are doing it, I'm in. So my son gave me a liter of plasma. I gave my dad a liter of plasma. The data showed that in me, there was no effect. But in my dad, his speed of aging reduced by 25 years.
Okay, so now we're getting into the theories about taking the blood of children.
So this is very common. We do organ transplants. We all donate blood. So it's just in a slightly different frame, but it's very much a part of.
Well, it's a recognizable frame. And by the way, I'm not endorsing any of this, but there is a frame, to use your word, on the internet of like super rich tech billionaires living forever on the blood of children.
Yeah.
Not a super appealing frame, I would say.
Yeah.
This is that.
Yeah, and we did it openly.
See, this has to be further examined and explained. I mean, he's talking about taking a liter of his son's and then his father taking a liter of his. That's deep in itself. And then go on to explain what the exact effect is. That's pretty wild. I mean, it speaks on so many volumes of what's going on. And I think Tucker Carlson was getting a little creeped out himself.
All kinds of weird shit going on, bud. I'm talking about.
Yeah, you saw that shit now. I tried to tell you.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That fucking thing going through the atmosphere.
That might be the Devil's Comet. They got something called the Devil's Comet.
Look that way. It's creepy as fuck out here. See that on her? Oh, look, it's going down.
Something's going down.
Hey, is that one of them rockets?
I don't know. It's going out.
flying through the air. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yo, what the fuck?
Aliens!
Yo.
So apparently a bunch of people saw it on the same day at the same time, so there must be something to it.
Something that I don't know how to explain at all. Either the government is building something insane, or this is aliens.
Why, what is it?
You know Google Earth, right?
Yeah.
Do you have Google Earth on your phone?
Probably not, but I'm probably just gonna Google and...
Okay, well, I will do it on my phone real quick.
You have Google Earth on your phone?
Yes. I'll punch in these coordinates on my phone myself, and what I see is so wild, Mike. Pretty much, bro, when you punch in these coordinates on Google Earth, it will take you to this random part of the earth that's like a barren wasteland. For miles, there's nothing, no town, no whatever. And the only way I can explain this thing is it looks like a portal or something, dude. Don't know how to explain this. I don't know what this looks like, Mike. That's the best way I can describe it. All around it, for miles, are hella tanks defending it. I swear to God. For miles, dude, hella tanks spread out. You can't even get close to it.
And this
how
is
many
real.
tanks? And this is real.
What the
I'll show you right now.
Let me see.
All right, first, I just pasted this okay? Look, it's in there.
Yep.
What the is this?
Let me see.
And then zoom and look around all over the desert.
What the is this?
Mike.
It's like a Death Star.
Go around the whole desert.
Oh, no, there actually is like tanks.
Keep going.
They're hella spread out.
Hella of them.
What the?
Hella of them.
But dude, what is that black? And there's like something like looking across from it that like mirrors it too. What is this? Let me zoom out. Bro, that's in America. Bro, that's in California. Bro, there's for sure hundreds of tanks.
Dude.
All around though.
And you see how they're all pointing away from it.
Yeah, they're low-key blending in.
Bruh, Mike.
Dude, there's hell of them.
I'm pretty sure he left the coordinates there, so check it out and let me know what you see.
Ashton Kutcher is seen as he prepares to be subpoenaed on Diddy's case. That's one. Next one, Sean Diddy Combs' ex-Cassie, that he paid off, I think $30 million, whatever the number is, cooperating with federal investigations amid the sex trafficking probe.
That's bad.
That's very bad,
That's
right?
bad.
So next one, Sean Diddy Combs still continues carefree in Miami. This is a story from yesterday.
Yep.
Lifestyle by smoking and drinking after federal aids. Sean Diddy Combs' youngest son, Christian King, 25, is now sued. So it isn't one thing, it's another thing constantly popping up.
But just from my point of view, though, he's in Miami, he's riding bikes, he's taking photos. He seems as if he doesn't have a care in the world. To me, somebody from the outside looking in, it seems like they were like, hey, listen, especially with the Cassie thing, that thing blew the top off of everything. We have to go in there. You don't be there. We're going to make the play. We're going to grab all the footage and everything. I think people are going to fall. Nothing is going to happen to him. He's going to be protected.
I mean, there might be some truth to that. He might not do any time. And if he does, it'll be a long time from now before we see it. You know, but you never know.
Did you know that a NASA whistleblower has exposed the truth?
I make fake pictures for NASA. All of my astrophotography is just, it's not real, it's 3D art. It's we put it together in Blender and Photoshop and a whole bunch of other tools. It takes a while, but the results I think are pretty good and have fooled most of the world. NASA sends me the files. They'll send me like 3D models, they'll send me like computer generated star backgrounds. They send us all the assets and then we can put them all together and generate these images of the universe. They kept paying me money and NASA kept sending me the files, so I kept perpetuating their myth about space. You know, none of it's real.
And how do you do it exactly?
So
is this widespread? Are there other astrophotographers doing this?
I mean, we're all in on it. Like, you know, all the big guys: Christopher Gove, Theory of the Gold, Martin Pugh, Mark G, Galactic Hunter, Chuck, Astro Backyard. You know that
You
guy?
got Astro Backyard?
Yeah, we're all in on it.
Now, you know you can't be mad at this man right here. Let's just say that it is true and NASA paid him to make, you know, these fake images. If NASA cut you the check, I guarantee you'll be in that Adobe Photoshop figuring out how to make some images as well.
Look at that. What is that? What is that? Y'all.
This is a guinea worm. It's a rare parasite that infects humans through contaminated water. After you ingest them, they grow in your body over the course of a year. The female worms grow up to 3 feet and can migrate through the body's tissues, eventually moving towards the skin's surface. This causes a painful blister to form on the skin as the worm slowly emerges. Once the head pokes out, it has to be pulled from your skin inch by inch. Now, traditionally, the worm is wrapped around a stick as it's pulled out, in a process that usually takes a couple weeks. If you lose your thumb and it's not able to be reattached, you'd probably think you'd be thumbless for the rest of your life. But that might not be true. You see, a doctor can actually take your toe from your foot and meticulously graft it onto your hand. Once it adapts and heals, the toe functions almost exactly like a thumb.
The more you know.
But there's another spine-chilling twist to this story. Just days before Lisa's passing, she was involved in another horrifying incident that took the life of a young Honduran boy. Lisa was riding shotgun in a car driven by her assistant, Stephanie Patterson, when tragedy struck. They accidentally hit a young local boy named Bayron Isaul Fuentes Lopez, and sadly, the boy didn't make it. But neither Lisa, her assistant, nor the boy's parents reported the incident. Instead, Lisa took it upon herself to step in and ease the burden on Bayron's parents. According to People, she personally covered the medical and funeral expenses for the grieving family. Now fast forward to the aftermath of Lisa's tragic passing, and the footage she and her friends captured in Honduras takes on a haunting significance. This very footage became the foundation for the 2007 VH1 documentary Last Days of Left Eye. And in one scene straight out of a horror movie, Lisa opens up about how she felt a ghostly presence haunting her after Bayron's death.
You know what these are? These are the shoes that belong to the little boy. And his last name was Lopez. Ain't that something?
Later on, Lisa's brother Ronald Lopez confirmed that Lisa had a strange feeling after the boy's death. He said, "I think Lisa felt like death was coming, and maybe it got this boy by accident instead of her." Lisa's publicist, Jay Morose, made a similar comment, saying she felt an energy that was coming to a close for her, the end of her time on Earth with us. But there's another side to this story that delves into those long-standing rumors about sacrifices in the music industry. See, some insiders have drawn parallels between Lisa's tragic passing and the death of Aaliyah. Aaliyah's life was cut tragically short in a plane crash in the Bahamas on August 25th, 2001, almost exactly a year before Lisa's demise. And over the years, there's been a whirlwind of speculation surrounding Aaliyah's death, with some folks claiming that it might have been orchestrated. And those whispers gained even more traction when it came to light that Aaliyah was given a sleeping pill and carried on the plane unconscious.
Aaliyah was given a sleeping pill and carried onto the plane unconscious before the fatal crash happened in the Bahamas. Kingsley Russell, who was 13 at the time, was in the car that drove Aaliyah and her team to the airport for their return flight to Miami. According to Kingsley Russell, they took her out of the van and she didn't even know she was getting boarded on a plane.
According to eyewitnesses, before boarding the plane, Aaliyah put up a fuss and refused to get on until someone from her team handed her a pill and she quickly passed out.
Now, I don't see what Cat Williams had to do with any of that, but it was deep nonetheless.
As it is today either. Oh, of course not. All the media in this country, radio, television, and print, is all owned by 5 corporations. All of these corporations that own the media are owned and controlled, and members of the Council on Foreign Relations sit on their board of directors. Remember, if you go down and you trace the ownership of a station or a newspaper, and you get to a corporation, remember that somebody owns that corporation, and it's usually another corporation. But when you trace the interlocking of all these things, when you get to the top, there's 5. And all journalists know that there's some things you don't write about, and you don't talk about, because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year. Because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year? No way. I don't care how long he works and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive? And when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type of entertainment or any type of entertainment at all?
If people understand that a game is a game, if people understand that nobody, no matter what they do, is worth paying $2 or $3 million a year for, people should be able to get rich if they want to, by the sweat of their individual labor. Okay? By going out and doing something for the world. Not by taking people's minds away from the emperor. It's a game. Football's a game. Football's a game. But let me tell you something. When 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it, but 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country, you have a reflection of the society in which that exists. And it is a sick society that is doomed to self-destruction.
So based on that scenario, there's some truth into what these men are looking at.
Absolutely, and that's what makes me so sick, is that I'm trying to wake up a people who on a daily basis are proving the ones that I'm warning them about to be right.
Well, so that even though a minority, there are people out there that you recognize are awake to this, if they don't do something about it, they will lose that ability to be free in that way.
That's correct.
Whether they might think, well, I don't need to worry about it because I know what I know and I'm fine. It doesn't work that way. There's a connection here to everything.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. A nation of people who are willing to send their sons and daughters that they profess that they love to a foreign country to die, and they use the excuse to themselves that they're sending them off to defend our country, and they know damn well that's a lie, are doomed.
There are so many gems inside that clip, but there's going to be so many people that are too asleep to even pay attention. What a shame. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate you for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.